Hey guys, welcome back to Ultimate Games Couch Co-op Podcast. Today we got myself, Tamon, and my buddy Cruz, my Nintendo expert, one of my best chooms that I've known for a really long time. And today we got a good amount of topics to talk about today. First off, Cruz, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Got off work, but excited to talk about the news.
Right, I was surprised when I got the call, man. I didn't think you'd want to record so soon.
No, I'm enjoying this, and it's just fun getting our voices out there.
Nice. So tell me, what are you playing this week, man? I know
Uh,
you've been busy with some stuff.
Still busy here and there, but still working on that Metroid Prime. I just got the Wave Beam, and I think I'm on my way to fight Ridley based on a cutscene I just saw not that long ago.
Nice. Was it everything you wanted from that game?
It really is, and I've only played when I played the original, I had to stop because it for me as a kid I was like 8, 9 years old at most. Off the top of my hand, I think I was I got spooked at one of the cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
But now I just live for the spookiness. So,
Okay.
and the game's not even horror based. Just I was easily scared as a kid.
Right. That's cool. That's legit. I've been playing a lot of Destiny myself. Finally got through a good chunk of Lightfall. I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but it's just the story aspects that kind of got me disappointed a little bit.
So I never asked this about you when it comes to Destiny stuff. Are the expansions free, or do you have to pay for each one?
You need to pay for each one. The seasons are usually free, with the exception of the season pass. But every major expansion, Forsaken, Beyond Light,
How
Lightfall.
much has each one cost? Because I know nothing of the series outside of each expansion coming out, and I just assumed it was a part of is Destiny? Okay, hear me out. Is Destiny an MMO? Yes or no?
Yes, you can classify it as MMO.
Okay, so
Or MMO. It has MMO aspects. Granted, it's like when you're in the focus stuff like strikes or just Crucible, there's a certain set amount of people. But when you're in the hub worlds, there's tons of people running around. Usually, when it's popping, of course, not when it's 4 or 5 in the morning or something like that.
okay,
But yeah, it's good. And expansion price wise, usually when I bought Forsaken, I think it was like $40 for the DLC. That was a good expansion. Beyond Light was probably I think 45, maybe another $40. And then but Lightfall was 50. So I think this is the most expensive one we've had to pay for yet.
I could tell that went up by at least $10 from the last two. Okay, so
Yeah. And before back in Curse of Osiris days and the older expansions, they were like $30 by that point. So we've gone up for sure. Yeah, as time goes by.
Do you feel like production wise, has each one lived up to the price of that outside of story stuff? Or do you think they could have, if you're asking for more money, you expect more?
Yeah, I mean, the price of gaming development is going up, of course, and I see why developers bring the price up. But usually, if they don't if they don't bring what they expect to really make that price worth it, I feel like Lightfall kind of reaches that. Maybe falls short just a little bit, just because Lightfall was supposed to be that expansion that was kind of okay, this is supposed to be it, like the witness is here. That's the main bad guy of the entire series and the entire game. This whole 10-year experience. And we were kind of just, left with the cliffhanger, towards the end of that game. And a lot of people were mad about that.
It's really it left on another cliffhanger.
Yeah. And I don't know why they're so tight lipped with this game, and especially with its story. Granted, it has a lot of lore. There's a lot to go through, but we've seen so much of it now, of this world. I'm kind of ready to see where the witness is, trying to do, or what's the whole, end game part. At least tease that part at the very least. But so far, we just kind of lose in the end. And, it just ends up being just kind of that.
So do you think this is going to lead to Destiny 3, or do you think there's another expansion in Horizon?
So they've talked about expansions past Lightfall before. They made it sound like it was supposed to be just expansions, but they never truly ruled out, Destiny 3 as a whole. But I'm pretty sure they would do Destiny 3 if they needed to. I think Lightfall is going to be the last major expansion. I don't know how many seasons it'll hold, probably another 10 or so, which means another year or two of game.
Okay.
But they're definitely probably going to make a Destiny 3 at some point. I would be shocked if they didn't. And then that'd probably be the final, And then hopefully at that point they really bring it, because Lightfall was story-wise a disappointment. Granted, there's some other stuff that they could have done better, game mode-wise, but I'm still exploring the DLC. I haven't gone through Crucible yet. I haven't gone through, the strikes. And some of the, seasons are pretty cool, so I can't complain about that. But I just hope that for what I paid, I just hope I can get my money's worth. I say I'm about $25 in worth of, okay, this is worth it. So we'll see. It just depends. But Destiny's a game that takes time anyway, so the more you earn. But there's a lot of good changes that they brought in though, so I can give them that much credit.
All right.
So yeah, definitely. But on a side note, we got some pretty interesting news this week so far. Not a whole lot, but something worth talking about. The Forspoken or Forsaken, is it Forspoken or Forsaken? I forget.
Spoken. I mean, the
Forspoken,
name
yeah.
at this point is forgettable.
Luminous Studios game, Forspoken, the one that was, so critically, rated for good reason, mind you. They are not shutting down per se, but they're getting absorbed into Square Enix pretty much. They're getting, I guess, absorbed and being split where they need to be.
Yeah.
And what do you think? What do you think about that? You think that's like more of a negative thing than positive, or based on what you've seen of their game, so that was kind of their shot to really make it,
So the game never really grabbed my attention. It just kind of looked like, I mean, it looked nice visually. That's what I can say about a lot of these games with this high kind of production value, but it just kind of was there. Yeah. Nothing really to hook me in. I don't think the team, like, they made a bad, I can't say they made a bad game, but I think Square riding up the hype and wanting money back more. I'm just going to cut the chase. Money talks. If that didn't sell, then that's the consequences. Whether or not it was good or bad, it's it's subjective.
Yeah, I think it sold like decently, not like too bad. I don't necessarily think they gained more than they lost, but it was
it probably broke even at worst.
Yeah, I mean, I played the game. I wasn't too impressed. Like visually, it's like it looks like it's cool until you really start seeing the world, and you're just like, okay, more Green Hill Zone type of like land, and that's all you kind of really see in the game, and it's kind of just that. It's kind of like what Mortal Kombat has in that problem aspect. We talked about that for a while of just being kind of bland as far as art style goes.
Since that Luminous Productions, this is their last game, basically being not independent, but being like their own, doing their own projects.
Yeah,
their last one wasn't if I'm right, wasn't it Final Fantasy 15? Like, didn't 15 run on that engine all the way through?
As far as I know, yeah, but I mean that was just their engine though. I think they had a little bit of help in that game. Granted, I don't know if 15 really needed it, because that game's been stuck in development hell for like the longest. So I don't know if bringing in more studios would have helped it. But
would you say like 15 was a warning of what was to come if like Luminous didn't like pick up the slack?
If their hands were as deep as I think they were, yeah. But if they were just like just helping with like some code stuff here and there or some bug fixes and whatnot, then I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing for them. I think it was like their chance to get a shot. I think Square Enix took a chance with them. And, they're not a bad like company. They've done some pretty good things, but I just think for the big chance that they got, I feel like they could have done a lot more. They should have took a bigger risk if this was their last chance, if they know that.
This sort of, I feel like you and I talked about something like this before, not with them, but remember that one studio did that one PS4 game, Days Gone, where I don't know the name of the studio, but
oh yeah,
they were stuck doing PS Vita games, and they finally got a chance to do their own home console game, and it got a 7 out of 10, which I don't know.
It was average. Like Days Gone was not a bad game, but just it was just a super like just average game. Like it was fun, it was cool, it had an okay story for the most part, and the gameplay was decently fun, a little arcadey more than I would have liked it to be. Especially with playing something like The Last of Us and part 2 coming out with all that hype and whatnot. But definitely they made a great Vita game though. They did Uncharted Golden Abyss, which was a fantastic Vita game considering what it was running on. That game was great. That was damn near like Uncharted like 1.5, and it was great. It was a good time.
That's good then. I don't think these companies should be absorbed then. I think it sucks for what happened to them.
Yeah, because they had said they had a sequel plan too after that, which I was just like, ooh.
I do know they're going to honor the DLC. I know they promised Forsaken DLC. See, you got me doing it now. Forspoken DLC, and they're going to honor that. But after that, I think that's it. They should be given free time. I think a lot of companies should stop like setting them to like, oh, you had your chance. Oh well, yeah. You need these smaller titles, whether they hit or miss. You need something to fill out the calendar year. You can't just rely on like your big money makers every year and let that carry you out. Sometimes you can. Sometimes it works like that.
Yeah. But I think just for Square Enix in general, though, I think that was one of their biggest risks, because they're kind of like EA in a sense of like buying companies and kind of either just absorbing them or just spitting them out somewhere else, and like not like in such a bad way like how EA does, because EA will just buy a company, shut it down, and that'd be that.
Oh yeah.
But
Square Enix really let these guys keep their jobs.
Yeah, Square Enix I don't think has like the budget to really be that flexible in a sense, because they had to get rid of they sold a few studios, right? The people who did Deus Ex, they got sold.
That's right. That's right.
And which is crazy to think about, because that's not the best franchise ever, but it's also not the worst either. So I couldn't imagine them really just letting that go so easily. But if they needed the capital, then
That it is what it is,
right? Because they have much more important IPs to work with. Final Fantasy needs that bump, like that real good bump up that it needs to really be great.
Yeah, that makes sense then.
Like 15 was okay, but it really stumbled throughout like a decade, and Final Fantasy Lightning Return was that was how that was received.
They've been writing that 14 wave, and I can't say it's slowing down because 14 is just. I'm not even an MMO guy, but 14 has just astonished me how it just brought itself back from the dead, literally.
Right. They made all the right decisions. They were like, this is it, because if not, we're done. And they knew that. So they really brought it in. I really want to try 14 too. I got friends who have been just dying for me to just try it too. Especially since ESO won't let me play, mind you. God, I hate ESO right now. I can't even play the game. It's ridiculous. But that aside, yeah, Luminous, it sucks to see them kind of like not be their own, but they're going to be moved on to better projects. So hopefully they, work themselves back up and maybe make a comeback for another game. But we'll see. It just takes time, Hopefully they'll be put where they are more useful or can really show their strength at. And yeah, we also have another bit of news that actually caught my attention. In a good / I'm kind of happy for it, but I'm also not happy about it. And that's Starfield. Starfield got delayed again. It's still coming out this year though, which shocks the hell out of me because
what's the new date?
Like September 9th, I believe.
Okay.
2023.
That's pretty good actually.
Yeah.
That's towards the back half.
Yeah. The part that kind of makes me sad though is like I don't think it's more of like, oh, let's polish the game, let's get it up. I'm sure that plays a part to some degree, but I think the main reason is because what else comes out that month? It was another game that was really good. Oh, Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom in 16, I believe.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 16. Now those are two pretty heavy hitting games. Final Fantasy 16 is a bit, we're kind of still, people are still worried about that game to a certain degree, considering, how 15 went, but the fact that it's coming so soon. But Tears of the Kingdom is the one that I think they were most wary of, even though that is a Switch game, a totally different game from Starfield. That's still money, that could be taken away from that game.
Yeah.
Starfield is still such a risk right now.
It's better to have them have that clearance that like, oh, look, nothing's really coming out at this time of the year. Let's just have this all to ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think that was really smart for them to move. Granted, they do have other games to compete with, but not as like heavy hitters.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just hope the game comes out to be good because lately Bethesda has been really pissing me off. Them / Cinemax has just not been my favorite lately. And yeah, I really want to play ESO. So if you're listening to this, which I doubt, please email me so I can play ESO. I just want the access code so I can play ESO.
Damn, son.
Man, the struggle is real, dude. I made 2 accounts. I made multiple accounts. I've changed the email multiple times. My internet's fine. The login works just fine, but I'm not getting the access code. And it's really pissing me off. It's really bugging me.
Who knows, man? Maybe they moved the customer support team to help with that Starfield.
Hopefully. Let's see. I hope that's not the case. If I have to log in to fucking play Starfield, I'm gonna lose my mind. Anywho, yeah. But aside from those 2 things, like I said, news is light this week. So, granted, there's some stuff to talk about, but it's just minor stuff that you can literally just read on in like 3 seconds. But the biggest one that I'm really proud of is that new Dragon Ball Tenkaichi 4. Now we're talking 16 years later.
This is insane. Nobody fucking saw this. Bandai Namco announced this at their Dragon Ball's Battle Hour, I believe. That's where they had their Fighters World Championships, the card game tournament,
really?
And I think their mobile game tournament as well.
Damn.
Out of nowhere, they surprised everybody with that announcement, and how they did it was hype as hell. They had like an old CRT TV playing Tenkaichi 3 on it, and that smooth transition from going from that old PS2 Wii looking graphics into the new modern age. Yo, that was clean as fuck. And if you just from the top, we could tell that's Goku fighting a Frieza, and we could tell in the background that's Namek. Right. So we know what's going on.
It shows every iconic piece they probably could. Yeah, that would have been great. I won't lie, it would have been really cool though too, is that they just did like the whole opening in those graphics for like Planet Namek during that arc. Oh my god, that would have been the ish.
I'm excited as hell. I honestly thought the Tenkaichi, the other fighting game spinoffs Dragon Ball's had its whole life were gone because Fighters took the FGC by surprise. So I thought that's all we were gonna have. They were done with fighting spinoffs.
Right.
We still have that Xenoverse 2 DLC coming out. So I thought,
which shocks the hell out of me that people are still playing Xenoverse 2. Is it that good?
I don't think it's So I beat its original campaign back in the day when it had only 2 season passes at best that I can remember. And at this point, let's just be for real. This is just Dragon Ball Online. That's just what it is.
That's fair. I mean, that's about as good as it gets aside from Fighter Z.
Because you got the whole, create a character thing, and you got the whole adding characters from movies and manga stuff coming up. So it's just Dragon Ball Online, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just we're tired of it. Like, we used to complain back in the day, I wish this game would get more DLC. I feel like that was a monkey paw's wish for us because now we're getting too much DLC.
Right.
At least the one game we don't want to get DLC is keep getting DLC.
Yeah.
But here we go. Somehow, some miracle, the modders keeping Tenkaichi 3 alive willed Tenkaichi 4 into existence, and it's here. I got 5 things I need from that game to happen. It's a hard sale because I know this. They never said specifically it's Tenkaichi 4, even though we're calling it that.
Isn't that it in the title though for PlayStation?
They've just addressed it as Budokai Tenkaichi, and that's what's scaring me because number one, I want it to be 4. I understand the long wait gap is 16 years, so you'd probably want to rebrand it as Tenkaichi 2023, 2024, whenever it comes out.
Right.
So that's fair, but please make it 4. Second, we need that huge roster from the beginning. The games
that's fair.
Carried themselves back in the day with a huge 150 plus roster. Granted, it wasn't until 3 they had the 150 plus characters, and each character was considered by a transformation from another character. So I guess that's one thing you can kind of add to it. But still, the roster was huge, and you got to play with a lot.
Right.
So,
okay, just for clarity, I'm looking at IGN's thing. They're saying Tenkaichi Budokai gets first sequel in 16 years. So could I address that as like?
You could address it as 4.
Okay.
But I'm scared. That thing is, it's a title in development. We just know it's part of the Tenkaichi bloodline. Let's just go with that.
Right.
So
yeah,
that's number 2 that I want them to keep the roster.
The funny part is it's not even on Bankai's like YouTube channel. It's crazy.
No, not yet. Number 3.
Oh yeah, sorry.
All good. Number 3. My other. We live in a day and age where fighting games are expected to have rollback netcode. I don't know if you know what that means. Where basically it's not shit connection, and you can have good matches and not blame on lag.
Yeah.
So, the only time Tenkaichi got online was on the Wii. And I got to experience that, and that was no bueno. That was just no bueno. I'm not going to lie.
The first flag was just Wii. I'm sorry. Wii's not a multiplayer console like that.
It tried. It tried its best, but no. So I'm expecting rollback for a Tenkaichi game. As dumb as that sounds.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It needs it because that's a legacy name you're carrying with that. So you're going to make it like another thing. You need to give that shit rollback.
Yeah, if that thing's going to be as next gen as we think it is and like graphically great, from the little like snippet they showed us, it didn't look too graphically demanding, but like, come on, it's going to be a next gen game. It's going to have a lot going on. And if the servers can't handle all that, system output, we're going to have a problem.
Big time, especially... another one I like, and I'm hoping it's retained in this game. So in the other games, you could have a tag fight where you and a friend select X number of characters fight against each other. That number went up to 5. You could have a whole team of 5v5 on top of those characters, if you chose it, could transform onto their other forms. So what I'm getting at is, it doesn't have to be 5v5, but it can't be under 3v3. So we need to have either 3v3 or 5v5s back.
That's fair. I feel like another thing this game really needs is going to be game modes, because I feel like if this is Tenkaichi 4, like this is the definitive, like this is the current up to date. We're getting the whole roster, from Dragon Ball all the way, through GT and Z and Super. I expect a decent amount of game modes. I feel like for as many Dragon Ball games as there are out right now, like Breakers and Fighter Z and Xenoverse, all of that should just be incorporated into this, like the multiplayer, the single player. Like that should be there's no reason why this shouldn't be a huge game.
No, you are not wrong. And that's the next thing you beat me to it. So
sorry.
no, that's perfectly fine. That was a good way for us to segue into my last one was game modes. So like you said, I think having the game was one of the first games, as far as I know, that have like giants as playable characters, and sometimes the game would treat those as boss battles. I think maybe having like raid fights, like how they do in Dragon Ball Fighters, where they'll have one character supercharge them up, and you and a team of 2 other friends have to go take them down.
Exactly.
Same thing. I think that's how it is in Xenoverse as well. Just bring that back
and throw those Kakarot aspects into it. Perfect.
Yes, the RPG mechanics, the eating. They used to have also like I don't want to say a skill tree, but like a little capsule thing where you get to select. No, not capsule. My bad. Patara earrings. They were these items that were Patara earrings that either increase your character's attack, defense, ki, or even change the color of their aura from Super Saiyan 1 to red, blue, yellow, green, even Super Saiyan 3 and 4 aura. I think including that to change characters' auras again, that would be pretty dope. Also, big one that these games were really cool with that no Dragon Ball game still does. I'm not counting Xenoverse because they do it in a weird way, but they did. Tenkaichi 3 had the most costumes for all the characters. You had like Goku in Saiyan armor. You had fucking Trunks in both his normal street clothes and Saiyan armor.
Yeah.
The game had a lot of the costumes that would cool. And you even got that Easter egg. I consider it an Easter egg. A lot of us did. Where Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta had an alternate costume where he had silver hair. And it felt like a nod to Dragon Ball AF, that like fan manga where he had Super Saiyan 5. Yeah. So silver-haired silver-haired Gogeta looked like a nod to Dragon Ball AF to me.
Right.
So I think having more costumes like that, you need to do that because I'm tired of seeing the gi. Let us have more costumes for these characters.
Yeah, that's fair. Because I mean, if this game is going to be as ambitious, I hope it is. Then there should be character customization easily. Multiplayer, of course, is going to be a thing, and there should definitely be plenty of outfits to choose from. It's not like they don't have a pool of outfits to pick from. It's tons of characters. Please let other characters mix and match. This needs to be like the Dragon Ball dream. Like this needs to be the end all be all Dragon Ball game. Like Fighters Z is great for the hardcore fighting community when they go like toe to toe in that. That's great. But Tenkaichi is just so different. It has to have all of that.
Definitely. And I think my next thing, not my next thing. I think something, I don't know if you know about when it comes to Dragon Ball. You've heard of Dragon Ball Heroes, right?
Yeah.
That their whole multiverse thing. Bring those characters in. There's a whole crap ton of what if characters. Bring it all. This needs to be the Dragon Ball like arena fighter hub.
Right.
And we get stuff from like Heroes where you got like Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker, a whole ass new form for the Super Saiyan 4 characters to go toe to toe with the gods and stuff. You got Super Saiyan 4 Broly. You got Janemba fused with Majin Buu. Like, you got some wacky ass shit in Heroes. Combine that with the Tenkaichi gameplay, it's going to be fucking insane. And I'm praying to God they go that route because this should not have existed. And yet here we are.
Right. Okay. I got one good question for you before you continue on.
What's that?
So as far as story wise go, we've seen Dragon Ball, iterate on, the same stories over and over again, Saiyan Saga, Namek, androids, and then, Cell and all that. So would you want all original story from, start to finish, Dragon Ball to, all the way to Super, we'll say, or would you rather take a hero's perspective and just go full on new story, all characters coming together in some way, shape, or form, and then being on just like one big grand adventure like that?
I would actually prefer what you said. I think I would, as much as I love the classic, OG to Super kind of route, that's fine. Tenkaichi 3 did it, and it did its story fine with that. I think my favorite saga from that story mode was the What If saga, where it had a bunch of what if fights. The highlight of that one being, what if the Saiyans believed Bardock's rebellion against the Frieza Force, and all the Saiyans went to war against Frieza's army. So I would say do the heroes route and maybe just go from there. Like, do the sagas out of order. Do some wacky shit where like...
Yeah, like different arcs and like per season or something like that. Because there's going to be a season pass, of course.
I would do what ifs. Just label the whole story mode as just the universal what if.
Yeah, I feel like they should take a toll from Marvel. Just go do the multiversal war thing,
And it can do that. As far as I know, Dragon Ball is the only anime franchise that has a whole multiverse.
Right.
Go with it.
Right. Yeah. I better see. Oh, I swear to God, if I see any characters missing from this game, I'm gonna flip out.
Like I said, we had 16 years ago a game that topped at 150 with only using the OG, the GT arc.
Mm-hmm.
Can't go backwards now. You have to go forward.
You right, you do. You
For
really do.
something like fighters that has to be competitive and has to have a bunch of balance changes, that makes sense. That's
Right.
fine for having a roster like that. For this is a fandom fighter, so you better let us go nuts with that roster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no BS. Just give us all of them straight from the get-go. Only thing I want to see that has to be unlocked are just costumes. That's all I could give them.
I will that gladly. Cosmetics, if that's has what I have to pay for, I will pay for cosmetics. Characters though, they got to be in there.
They do. They really do. So how like? So we're talking like it's easily going to be over 100 characters in that game.
If Bandai Namco's boasting that the new Ninja Storm remake thing, I know it's called Connections, but people are basically calling it a pseudo remake, is going to be boasting 150. New Tenkaichi has to at least hit 100 plus.
Right. Yeah, it has to. I mean, yeah. I just hope that there's not too many just like dunce characters. Like I just didn't see just randoms.
I will admit, like Tenkaichi 3 had a lot of like a couple of things. Like you had Tambourine, one of King Piccolo's demon henchmen. Then you had like generic Frieza soldier guy.
Right.
And I know Xenoverse has that too. You don't have to have them as like straight up base roster characters.
Right.
Maybe you can add them as free updates, but I think you should definitely have the core cast of everything that's been established from OG to Super.
Yeah, everyone who ever mattered, basically.
And on top of that, I think for sure all the movie characters. All of them.
That's a given.
Don't like piecemeal us the movie characters like they did with Xenoverse, where you have to wait like where even the movie characters had to have their forms separated as two characters sometimes. And I was like, no, you need to have them transform into the movie characters.
Yeah, and I want every variation too. Like I want both Brawlies, both movie, Super, and Z versions, and then of course Heroes was pretty good, and then yeah, I just need all of that. And then I don't need 4 Hercules though. That's one thing I don't need.
No, you can have obviously just have the one Hercule that you need.
Swap a skill set out. That's it.
Honestly, just keep a skill set in. I remember the Tenkaichi 3 had a password system where the game you enter, let's just call it a cheat code. You enter a cheat code, basically, you get like a busted fucking version of that character. So I got it to unlock like a really fucking broken Broly, and I would just use that as my training dummy. I would do my fucking damnedest to make sure I tried to kill him. He'd kill me, but eventually I did beat him. But that was a good way to have fun with that shit, fighting a super boss.
Right. That's usually the best way to spend Tenkaichi. Just putting your favorite like build up together and then just fighting like the hardest boss you can like make. Yeah, it needs to be them days. So, the game is going to be ambitious. It should be big. Are there any worries for this game that you're concerned about?
Yes. Considering the last time Spike, I know it was Spike, but I know they've merged with Chunsoft, so now they're Spike Chunsoft.
Yeah.
Hasn't touched the Dragon Ball series since Ultimate Tenkaichi back on the No, not even that. Dragon Ball Z Connect.
Oof.
That was the last thing they touched, and the less we say about that, the better. But
Connect game.
Oh god, that's my concern. Is like the gameplay peaked at Tenkaichi 3 when they did with the Raging Blast 2 series because they had to move on to the next generation at the time, which was the PS360 era.
Right.
I'm just concerned, like, they've been out of the game for a while. Can they do it? Cyber Connect 2 coming back to do Ninja Storm, that makes sense. That's their baby.
Yeah.
But Chunsoft has not had that in a while, so it's like, it's concerning.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they've done it means that they want it, so, I mean, they've got to have... If they're confident enough to announce something that big, and, when the gameplay is finally shown off, I think that's when we'll really know how serious they are about it.
You're right. You're right.
I think I'll give them a chance. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because they haven't really disappointed since Tenkaichi 3, even for like its little bit of problems that it had. It pretty much delivered. And the fact that they announced it, and especially how bold and how and that trailer alone too was just like they knew what fans were doing and how they liked it. And I think they're gonna know. I think they're really gonna hit it.
The announcement broke Twitter.
It blew up.
From what I remember, I think somebody said the Tenkaichi 4 announcement was so hype, it blocked out people's hype for Attack on Titan's season trailer thing. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, I didn't think it was going to be that big. Hell, right. TikTok is still blowing up with Tenkaichi 4 like memes.
Oh, heck yeah. Especially right now since like Attack on Titan's like at its peak right now because I'm seeing 10s everywhere for that. So the fact that got blocked out and man, it's going to be crazy. I'm really glad to see this though. This is definitely an announcement that we needed. My only real concern is just how long, because Storm Connections, I don't remember if it got a release date.
It's this year.
Is it?
That's as far as we know this year.
If they put that game out this year, I'd be shocked because that's a big game. If it's not just if it's like a full on like from the ground up make, that should be a long development cycle game because that's a lot of like content to put in. But if it's just a remake, then okay.
I give Cyberpunk props then. If they're working both on a pseudo Storm remake and still Kakarot DLC, it's like either they got more money, to hire more staff, or they're that flexible. So kudos to them. Oh, that's right, because not just that, they're the ones who also did the JoJo All-Star Battle R. So they got 3 games under their belt coming up with content. Damn. Yeah.
But that's just a port, though, isn't it? Or a remake, a remaster?
It's a overhaul. It's the R stands for remaster, I think, but it's an overhaul. Like they added a new system to the game where you can call an assist character to fight for JoJo.
Saw that.
So yeah, holy shit. So I mean, okay, maybe I'm underwhelmed. Maybe I'm like lowballing CyberConnect 2. Still, that's CyberConnect 2. This is Spike Chunsoft. Gotta pray for Spike Chunsoft here because they haven't touched an arena fighter in a while. So really got to fingers crossed them. I'm confident Storm 5. Let's just call it Storm 5. I know. No. Start my bad. Storm Connections.
Right.
Will be fine.
Yeah, I'm not too worried for that game, honestly, because that's a slam dunk. That's an easy win for anybody. Like, not for anybody, but for the people who made the game from the ground up. Like, because they're always been consistent in their games. I've never had a problem with a Storm game where I've just been like, okay, this shit is different. I hate how different it is.
I think like the games in between the big numbered ones, like between 1 and 2, between 2 and 3, and 3 and 4, the spin-off games like Generations and Revolutions, they were but they weren't bad.
Yeah, kind of low-key cash grabs, but that's
they had to get a Naruto game a year.
Yeah,
but
Boruto was coming, so they were like, okay, Boruto/Naruto. The fact they put that slash in it was just like, okay, we know what you're doing. Stop it. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I mean, was that it for Tenkaichi? Because I was just curious to see if there was anything else you wanted to say about it.
I can't say much other than the fact that wait, there is one thing I want to say. I don't know if it was a meme or not. I'll confirm with that later. But I kind of hope we get that fucking bomb ass like CG animation where those games with like an original song, like the Tenkaichi 3 opening where it's just like the Dragon Balls going down from the sky into the earth, and then you have like things like Kenji Yamato's like songs Sparking Survivor. Oh my god, can we get like a new original song and like a badass CG opening for Tenkaichi 4? Right. Even if it makes no focus, just give us that like badass like 90s or like not 90s 2000s throwback to like anime games with like their own original openings and songs.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, a really good opening sequence that just shows everything off, and then whether it's CG or animated, I'm fine with either, but that would be dope. And damn, that's a lot of music to put in the game too.
Please do. They've been adding all like official music from the anime into the games, and it's every game so far, like from Xenoverse to Kakarot to Fighters. No, I'm talking about do it, please. I know that music has been like in limbo because of like some legality issues. Make the Tenkaichi 2, 3, even Raging Blast songs as DLC.
I imagine they're gonna bring some assets from 1, 2, and 3. I'd be shocked if they didn't. I just scared this game's gonna be like a remaster of all 3. It's like an ultimate form.
Let's just fingers crossed. Excuse me. Sorry. Fingers crossed. It's actually a new game, and it's like a dream come true.
Yeah, that's fair. Speaking of dreams come true, so we speculated a lot about some games and seeing this announcement. Like, give me your like ideal like fighting game, like you would love to see.
Oh,
'cause I know you've been thinking about it a lot.
Yes. So something I've been thinking about for like a dream fighting game to come to an existence. Got a lot, and I want to start with a One Piece Fighters,
like a Smash clone, or like just like a 2D fighting thing.
So I know I know Arc Systems could do a One Piece fighting game where it's a 2D thing, like Fighters Dragon Ball did. But I'm talking about how they used to do it back on the Nintendo platforms, and I mean the handheld. So One Piece had a long series called on the DS and 3DS called Gigant Battle, where it was a Smash clone for the One Piece series.
Right.
And they were really fucking good. Like, it's funny to me how console Smash clones don't work that well, but then you got like, I think they're, I need to find the developer's name. Give me one moment.
Yeah. Are you talking like PlayStation Battle All-Stars, like that kind?
No. Okay. Yeah. Actually like that kind, but
it's not as like goofy, I guess you could say. Because that's really crazy to think about, like a One Piece Smash type brawler. I could see how that could work, but damn, that's just so. I feel like it's more obtuse than anything.
It is like it sounds weird, and on paper it's like Ganbarion. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it because it's a Japanese studios, but it's called Ganbarion. Ganbarion. They made a bunch of One Piece Smash clones. They even did Jump Ultimate Stars and Superstars. I don't know if you ever played those, but again, they're Super Smash Bros. Clones focusing on Smash Brothers, or in this case, One Piece, and they were really fucking good. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. Like before Smash came to the 3DS with Smash 4, you had the Shonen Jump and One Piece games to like bide your time for a Smash game on the go. Good God, they were good. Right. You had your boy from Kyoto Hitman Reborn. They were in it, and Jump Ultimate Stars. You had like Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo. You had Luffy, Zoro,
Yusuke.
Yeah.
I played through it on the Vita.
Yeah, Jump Ultimate Stars. It was really good. I want another One Piece game, or even Shonen Jump game in that style of like a Smash clone.
Yeah.
I think if there's any property, not like I'm not just throwing shade at the Nickelodeon one or throwing shade at the multiverses with like the DC.
People love those for some reason.
They're cute and they're fine, and I know they're being handled by the developers who get what Smash is, but man, like they were like really, and I mean this in a good way. When you get to do like a really good knockout in Jump Ultimate Stars or even One Piece Gigan Battle, the game was crunchy. So like you felt like that punch from those characters. Hell, one of the dude, and the craziest part is everybody keeps forgetting this tidbit from those games. Granted, never left Japan, but the 3DS game, One Piece Gigan Battle X, actually had amiibos functionality. So all the One Piece characters got to dress up as Nintendo Smash characters. You had Nami as Wii Fit Trader, Robin in the Samus Power suit, Chopper was fucking Yoshi, and funniest one to me was fucking Donkey Kong as Frankie.
Oh, really? Wow. That's funny.
So, like, it was cute, but if they did it again and they brought back that amiibo support, but for, like, the bigger... With all the amiibos we have now, you could see something crazy like Sanji dressing up as Joker using the Joker amiibo.
Right.
Or Robin as, funny enough, Robin from Fire Emblem, because they're both tacticians in a way. So, I want another One Piece Smash clone. Yeah. I think it would work. It would also not have people compare it so much to like One Piece with Dragon Ball FighterZ being a Marvel clone kind of game. Having a One Piece Smash clone makes more sense because with how expressive and over the top the characters have in that energy, I think Smash fits them better.
Yeah. Would you want it looking like Smash, like that more like, I guess you could say just more like game look to it rather than like a cel shaded like anime style to it?
Yeah, I think that game look could work. I think One Piece's art style is flexible to where it can have either that cel-shaded anime look or even just a game, like just a...
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. Like that 3D just character model look. Like, you know it's a game when you'll see it. Like,
and it's not bland, but it's appealing to the eyes. It's like, it just works. So yeah, One Piece could work in either way.
Yeah, it just feels like CG. And then, yeah, I can see that.
How about you?
What?
Oh, what were you going to say? You first.
The only game that I've ever played that's close to Smash at all, and it's super old, was that Raid Master Special Attack Force game, like back on the the SP Game Boy Advance SP. Yeah, that's close as I get to Smash. I'm sorry, I'm not a Smash guy, but
all good. I just love the chaotic nature of it, especially. Well, at least when I say chaotic nature, I mean the chaotic 1v1 fights. It just gets intense sometimes. That heart rate be pounding.
Oh yeah, I love watching it more than I like playing it, especially when you're watching the Rage compilations because I didn't think people got that heated about it.
Oh yeah,
but man, is it satisfying to watch.
How about you? What's your take on a fighting game you want to see, whether it be an existing property or a sequel to something?
As someone who's been playing a little bit of Guilty Gear and that I've been dying to try that new Grand Blue that's going to come out soon. I got to say, man, I still want the Persona fighting game that we were somewhat teased in like hush hush, not announcements, but like, rumors. Either that or like a Tales of fighting game, because Tales of Versus came out like years ago, but never made it to the West. From PSP. So
you mentioned that to me a long time ago. Did you ever get to see how it played, or was it just like...
No, I didn't even watch gameplay. I just saw it and I was just like, wow, they actually made this. But it was so old, I just didn't care to even watch.
How would you go about it for a Tales games? Considering the handful of fighting games you played, would you want it to be like a Marvel vs. Capcom clone with like the chaotic action, or would you want to be a 3D fighter, since most of the Tales characters use swords, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Would you want him to play like Soul Calibur or something faster than that?
No, you know what? Give me Fighter Z speed, and I'm cool with that. Just because I like the art style from it, and I love how much it retained that anime like art style. So I'd probably go much more that way. But if I had to pick between like 3D or like Arena, it wouldn't be a bad Smash clone. I think it just depends if they implemented all the abilities right.
That'd be fair because I did play a little bit of Tales of Symphonia as a kid, and I remember like inputting Lloyd's commands was basically like pseudo like a fighting game at that point too. Like especially like Smash, where you had to do like up B, down B to do like his Rising Falcon. I think.
Yeah, that's how Tales have like always been, and even though it's like still like even though it's a 3D arena thing, you can if you play it in a specific way, you can pretty much play that 2D, especially with the older titles. Like I'm trying to think, like Tales of Vesperia, for example, like on the PS4. That's like 2.5D if anything. Like it's not fully 3D like it could be. But don't get me wrong, you can move around 3D dimensionally, but you have to hold down a button to do so. So yeah, definitely probably it wouldn't do too bad as a Smash clone. I just don't know how it would do with, the different levels of the arena versus just being on a plane.
I think whoever handles that your Tails Smash clone, because I want Gambarian to make my One Piece game. I think Bandai Namco in general handling a Tails Smash clone would work because one, they had their hands in Smash Ultimate overall. Like the last two Smash games, they had their hands in, so I think it would work.
Yeah, they're just so versatile. That's the only thing with Namco. That's like the biggest advantage right now.
And since Tales of Arise, you think Tales of Arise brought the series to like heights, right? Popularity in terms, or like
I won't say popularity wise. It definitely brought us to the next gen though, because that game is it's easily the best looking Tales game we have right now.
So we get your Tales Smash clone, right? Would you want it to be an anniversary game where it focused on everything before Arise, or would you want Arise to be a part of that as well, since it's a drastic?
Arise has got to be part of everything. The one great thing about Tales of in the series in general is that people love like Tales of the entire series, not just like one specific game. Don't get me wrong, we have our favorites as far as like each Tales go. Like my favorite right now is like Tales of Berseria. No matter what anyone says or any Tales game that comes out, that's still my favorite. Nothing has beat that yet so far. Tales of Arise was amazing, but Tales of Berseria is always great. So they should include all of that. I'd be shocked if they excluded some games out.
Gotcha. So yeah, I so like how Persona has their dance games. I think Tales having a fighting game, even a Smash clone, would probably do its best, especially with as a good anniversary title.
Yeah, even me is not like the biggest Smash fan. Like I would, if that was Tales made that game, I'd play it in platinum and easy, like within a heartbeat. I'd have no problems with that.
Nice.
Granted, I would probably just want Arc System Works to do it, just because I just want to see Tales of Berseria characters look like their absolute best, because Arc System Works just kills it.
They are really good when it comes to their visuals.
Like, it doesn't even make sense how good the games look sometimes. I'm just like, dude, like what's going on with these graphics? Like, come on, Mortal Kombat, do something more.
That's Arc System. Everybody that's ever since they touched Dragon Ball and even DNF2. I know that's technically not them. They got 18 code, but still, you got Arc System on that. You got people's attention.
Right. Like literally, like, oh, what's these graphics looking like? And they always do like iconic characters. Like there's so many like things that people like take from the that art style. It's crazy. It's just great, and they're just so creative with it too. Like every character in Guilty Gear is just different, like in every way. It's pretty great. I can't lie. But yeah. But as far as fighting games go, there's other genres though. So I mean, what about about open world games? You got anything in mind for that?
I do actually. So after experimenting with after platining Sonic Frontiers, I could say Sonic does good. And
you actually platinum that?
Well, I can't say I did 100% it, but I call it platinum because that's a standard.
You play it on Switch, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I think what I want now, and I know we talked about it last time, I believe a open world Batman Beyond game should have been what we got this generation instead of Suicide Squad. I know we kind of just talked about it here and there, but no.
Yeah.
Realistically, I think they would have a lot more creative freedom with Batman Beyond as an open world game. They don't even have to call Batman Beyond Arkham this because
no Arkham. No, don't keep Arkham. For some reason, when they make Batman games and they include Arkham, there's always just some weird catch to it. It feels like it's being tugged down by something. Just call it Batman Beyond.
Just literally, if Spider-Man can get away with just being calling Spider-Man, and even the sequel, just 2,
right?
Just call it Batman Beyond. And look, you could do so much with Terry McGinnis as a character. One, he was originally created to sell toys because DC wanted something to compete against Spider-Man because the movie just came out at the time, and they wanted to ride that Spider-Man hype, so they wanted their own young, teenage, hip character with the kids.
Right.
You can do a lot with Spider-Man. You can have Granted, he passed away. Rest in peace. You have Kevin Conroy. He passed away. But still,
Mm-hmm.
you can get one of the other Batman voice actors we've had throughout the years to be Terry's mentor and just guide us along the way of his journey.
Yeah.
With all that future tech Terry has, the insanity, he has a built-in jetpack. He doesn't have to do the gliding motion that Batman did in the Arkham game. He could just straight up fly.
Yeah.
He has an invisible cloak. I
Hey,
think
that is true.
the hacking mini games can even be done like incorporating Bruce Wayne, since Bruce is the guy in the chair for him.
Yeah, stealth should also be a big part of this game too. I think, as much as that game's going to be an action game, stealth should always be included in a game when it has that much flexibility. And the look alone on that game, like a cyberpunk look, like Cyberpunk 2077 looks amazing on PC and PS5. So imagine that, like with a nitty gritty city like Batman Beyond's world, like that could look pretty decent.
Just imagine you're cashing in on we've already cashed on the 80s nostalgia. We're cashing in on 90s nostalgia. Cashing on that early 2000s nostalgia. Batman Beyond would be the right one to pick first.
Right.
Hell, and the great thing about that is that a lot of it is new. A lot of this mythos was built for the show. Mm-hmm. So there's technically nothing wrong if you go ahead and create new villains exclusively for the game.
Right.
People because it's just that. You were not restricted to the Batman legacy if you stick into the modern times. Mm-hmm. Sticking with the Batman Beyond future timeline, you could do whatever you want and technically get away with it.
Oh, heck yeah. And still include the Joker.
He came back in the movie and that worked.
Literally did. And it was great. Yeah, that would actually be really interesting because the gameplay pretty much writes itself. The world is there. Interesting stories. And, if they were smart enough to, get the original voice actor for Batman Beyond or Terry, then yeah, that'd be pretty great. The only missing person would be the old school Batman, but I mean, there's other Batmans who can fill the role.
Yes.
Easily. So yeah, that would definitely work. That'd be awesome. My only question would be is who would do it?
I would have said Rocksteady if they weren't doing Suicide Squad, but I don't know what's going to happen if something bad happens to Suicide Squad.
They're just so 50-50.
Hear me out. I think look, this is just a what if game anyways, right? Like this game probably won't happen.
Right.
I think the guys who did no, what am I thinking? I'm just gonna say it. I want Kojima Productions to do it.
What? Really? I get why you're saying that, but I don't know. I feel like Death Stranding was cool, but
oh no, I'm not talking them doing no Death Stranding stuff. I'm talking about you get Kojima and you allow him get this is my dream game, right?
Yeah.
Let him get the Metal Gear team back.
I mean, that even with the Metal Gear team, I'm just I feel like that'd be a great game, but I don't know. I just feel like
if it's too slow for you, then my backup team you might I would say get Sucker Punch.
Yeah, that was literally would have been my pick was them. My only concern with them is just I don't know about the story because Sucker Punch is great. They Infamous 1 and 2, fantastic.
Easy solution for the story for you. I got you covered. Just get somebody from the comics to write the story for them, and they just got to make it work in the gameplay.
That's true.
That's what they did with the Arkham games. So if they can do it with the Arkham games that way, I think they can get away with doing it with the Batman Beyond game. And I feel like they can do it. I really think Sucker Punch has the potential to do it, especially with what I could be wrong. Ghost of Tsushima was open world, right?
Yes.
And obviously Infamous was.
Yes.
So with that, the fact they can take a drastic Western styled, let's just say realistic hero of Nathan, or not Nathan, what's his name? Cole, my bad. Cole from Infamous.
Nice.
And Ghost of Tsushima. I think they can blend something with Batman Beyond. Because hey, if Insomniac can do something cool with Spider-Man, let's see what Sucker Punch can do with Batman Beyond.
Yeah. I feel like Insomniac could do it, but I feel like it would just be too... I feel like it would look too Marvel-ish.
That's why.
If that makes sense. Yeah, I could see them not wanting to do it. Yeah, Sucker Punch. I would say Sucker Punch too if they just had a little bit of extra help, outside help, and keeping it comic and animated series as accurate as possible is the biggest key in that.
Oh yeah, I would love if they could just drag and drop that that animation style from Batman Beyond and just make it into a game without changing anything or making it realistic. That would be perfect. Just giving it that flair, that really hitting the nostalgia bones.
Right. So, okay, here's a question. RPG mechanics or aspects or none at all?
I'd say for this game, it'd be fine. Because if we're supposed to be Terry learning about how to become Batman, I think having a skill tree to access what would it take to be Batman in a sense? I think having an RPG mechanic would make sense. Don't overkill it,
Yeah.
but keep
okay.
it simple enough to where you have a good steady progression that doesn't feel like you're being dragged down.
Right. Yeah, that's really good. I feel like that game needs to be super ambitious to really work, but I feel like it would be a really big hit. Even we've seen games like that surprise us like over the years, like a lot. Like Shadow of Mordor, for example, was a great example of that. That was like a what if story pretty much for, Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
And when that launched, people were just like, people saw the trailer, people were like kind of like, I'm not too sure about this. It looks kind of iffy. Then the gameplay came out and everyone was just like, yo, this game is the shit. Like people are eating this up. And they did really good until 2. And then, the end game of 2 happened and then, kind of just fumbled. But that's not point of the story. But yeah, I think Batman Beyond would be a great open world story. Like I couldn't even imagine, like, I wouldn't even want another regular Batman game until we get another sequel of that. I can see that really working really well.
If you want a nice spin-off game or even a side game to have like on the side while we wait for like Batman Beyond 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Sucker Punch is good with a character with electric powers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spin-off game from Batman Beyond that ties into it, Static Shock.
Oh my god! I didn't even think about that. That actually would be really good. Wow. Damn. That's literally their DC's Miles Morales right there. Yeah, that'd be boss. And then the crossover.
Yeah.
DLC. Yo, that would be sick. I can't lie. That'd be pretty hot.
Would it be just copying Spider-Man 2 with having Peter and Miles meet?
Yeah.
Sure, but doesn't matter. No, because it's fucking awesome.
Right, because that game would probably be a banger. Dang, yeah, that'd actually be really, really... I didn't even think about Static Shock. Damn. Yeah, that'd be really good. Yeah, I'd eat that up. But for Static Shock, I think it'd be a little harder, only because they would really need to just be like... It can't be any different from the cartoon, because if it does, then it's going to be really weird.
No, and I know Static's voice actor's still around, so that's already a plus. So you got that. And what's cool about Static is that he doesn't have to restrict himself to just climbing walls and stuff, since, he went around on a manhole cover and just glided.
Right.
So having that kind of traversal and feeling like you're playing as him from the show, that'd be fucking dope.
That would be dope. Damn, that'd be amazing. Bro, the boss fights alone would just be dope.
Right?
Freaking the ice chick,
the Shadow Man.
Freaking Heat Wave, I think his name was.
Oh, the dude with like the flaming hair and yes.
Oh, bruh. And then having old boy as your sidekick too, as like your NPC dude. Oh my dude, man, that's actually really good. I'm probably more excited for that than I am the Batman Beyond game. Damn, I do Virgil in a game. That'd be legit. You would think if DC was probably like, if DC movies were probably like more progressed as like Marvel was, they probably could get away with that.
They could, and it's sad because like, yeah, everybody's cashing on an 80s and 90s nostalgia, but if they were the first ones to start hitting that 2000s with both a Static Shock and a Batman Beyond game, and then ending like that series with a crossover trilogy kind of thing, dude, they'd be hitting all the marks. I'm like, yo, hell, they can even fucking. It's not the same thing, but you still got Teen Titans Go as a thing. What's stopping them from actually doing a real Teen Titans game based off the 2006 series and not the Go reboot?
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been great. I actually would have. It's funny too that you mentioned that Teen Titans. I feel like that would have made more sense than just Gotham Knights.
You'd think so.
I think, because my thing is like right now is like I think just Rocksteady in general is just way too focused on the Bat family. DC in general is right now, and it's not bad, but it's just like, damn, you have other characters, right? Dude,
I've been thinking the same way, and I've been getting absorbed from comic news thanks to my friends, and just like watching videos overall, and. I mean, shit, I want something on Blue Beetle. He's just like DC's a Hispanic answer to Spider-Man.
Right.
But he uses alien technology, so...
Yeah. He has a movie coming out, oddly enough, too, which I was shocked to see. I saw that in the theater when I watched Creed 3. I was like, Blue Beetle? I didn't see no announcement, no trailer, no news, no nothing. Just put it there.
They have the characters to make games. They're too narrow-minded. And that's what I'm saying.
Okay. 2
dream games that want open world, Static Shock and Batman Beyond. Let's get them going.
Right. Okay, hear me out though. Open world game, stealth, primarily stealth. I know it could be an action. I know it could easily be an action game.
Okay.
But stealth game, Martian Manhunter. Plays like Hitman.
Oh, that is easy fucking money.
Right.
Easy fucking money.
Telling you. But the only thing that gets me is, should it be off world or should it be like somewhere like dangerous? Because I feel like if they make it like, if they put it on Earth, I feel like it'd be, I feel like it would feel like too much like Hitman.
It would have to, if you wanted to stay away from the Hitman idea, I'd say do it off-world and give it like that Mass Effect vibe where the Martian Manhunter uses like the Justice League Javelin. They're, I want to say spaceship, but it's actually both a spaceship and they're just jet.
Yeah,
So
my only question is just where, like, either aside from just an alternate universe, instead of like their usual spot.
I think a good place to set him in, because I know he's, their heroes are not meant to kill. I think you could set him in something called Earth 3, I believe, and that's where all the heroes are villains. So,
like Owlman and like
whatnot. So have the Martian Manhunter infiltrate World Earth 3 and go from there. Have him try to take out the bad guys, but since he's alone, he has to do it stealthily.
Right. Yeah, I would love to see another good idea too would be like an open world Justice League game, but instead of like, for example, each Justice League member, the gameplay plays like extremely different. Like, for example, Superman should be like should be its version of like an Iron Man game or so, whatever. That's something I can compare it to because I can't think of any other person who flies consistently aside from Spider-Man. And have that kind of thing. The Flash playing as Infamous, and then Martian Manhunter, of course, playing stealthily. That could be the extra port in that. And everyone plays differently, and then when it all comes together, all those mechanics come, and then introduce raids for those characters.
That would be fun.
Yeah, the only thing that sucks about it is just the limited slots. I don't feel like I feel like there's gonna be tons of people who are gonna want to play, multiple as Superman, multiple as Martian Manhunter. I just don't get how you would solve that problem with that game.
They're easy way, the multiverse.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
If we're already going into World Earth 3 and fighting the evil versions of them, just make it so if everybody wants to be one character, then just have you can be like the Silver Age Superman. You can be Superman from this dimension where it's actually Bruce Wayne as Superman. Things like that.
That's fair. My only thing is just like, I just don't know how you would like deal with that traffic. Cause like, think about it. Like I think Overwatch 2 kind of has that problem in a sense where like, yeah, it's a role specific game for sure. But come on, there's lots of players, lots of people who want to try different things. Like not everyone just wants to be a healer. Like for example, when I'm playing the game, at least, one thing I've noticed is no one wants to be a healer. Like that's just the first. I ran into that problem so many times. Everyone wants DPS or tank or defender or whatever, and they just don't care for it. And healer always gets kind of left alone, or it's the opposite direction where everyone just wants to heal or do tank, and then no one wants to do DPS or the other thing. I forget what the other one is.
As long as you don't make it like an Avengers thing where everybody was the same character just with a different skin.
Yeah,
that's all you got to nail. You just got to make sure you get everybody's playstyle. I guess in a sense, like do it like how Diablo does it, where everybody kind of plays the same, but each character specializes in either DPS, healing, tanking, etc., etc.
Right.
Just really got to get that feel like if you're going to be Superman, you're going to be the guy who does the most damage, but really can't do a whole lot of like specialties in other fields.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Or just use him as DLC in the Static Shock game. That's cool because he did bring him back good time twice. I think it's twice. I can't remember, but yeah, that'd be amazing though. I would love a Static Shock game and Batman Beyond game. That would be pretty ideal. The fact that there hasn't even been one is blowing my mind right now.
They're just sitting on money. And they're just too narrow-minded on Batman specifically.
Right. Suicide Squad, got multiple games. Got multiple animated series, which are pretty good. But, just, hey, DC, you got something else besides these characters.
Let it go. Just let it go and try something new.
Yeah. I can't even remember the last time I've even seen anything new that was Static Shock or Batman Beyond related.
The last time I see Static was in the Injustice mobile game.
Yeah.
That's no. These characters deserve better than that.
It's freaking mobile games, man. I swear. It's just I've ran into this problem a lot of times too with mobile games, and a lot of good things end up being mobile games, and it's like I'm not hating on mobile gaming like at all, but it's just like sometimes I'm just like, damn, just put this on a console or PC, please. I'll take a Windows game at most. Like for example, the Tales of series does this a lot. It really pisses me off. They always go, Tales of, Questoria, for example. Didn't do great here in the US at all because people don't play mobile games like that, especially JRPGs, which is already kind of like somewhat niche, but like not niche enough to like not thrive, but it's just niche enough not to be able to be on a mobile platform and survive in the US. Tales of the Rays got canceled in the US after what, like a year or so? And it just sucks because there's lots of great stories with all those characters that we would love to see match up. And we just don't. We have to miss out on it and just watch it on YouTube. We don't get to play it, all because mobile. Thanks.
It's a very big, like, it's the name of the game. It's a gambling thing.
Yeah,
So
and it's just a culture thing. Like Japanese gaming is all about mobile. I didn't believe it at first until I started like really seeing how much people love the Switch and the Vita out there. Granted, I love my Vita, but I just like damn. Like when you have like a PS5 and a nice PC sitting in front of you, it's hard to pick the Vita out of all the things, unless there's something I'm super specifically trying to play.
it's the culture. It's just the cultural boundaries between us because they're always on the move and stuff like that. So to them, gaming on the go is the best way to do it.
And that's fair. And there's a lot of Japanese stuff that we see that we never even get the chance to even look at. Like there's anime, there's games, there's freaking merchandise that we don't even hear about. And
dude, like I forget. Did you remember Sengoku Basara?
Yeah.
Did you know that the Arc Systems, they actually did a fighting game for them in Japan? It was only arcades only.
Yep. All the arcade
possibly
games.
PS2 port out there, but still, we never got that.
Right.
And I didn't even know about Sengoku Basara until I hacked my Wii and started playing the games in there. So
yeah, it sucks because we don't see a lot from out there, and I just wish that you would think Sony would cap on that and just bring it over, or there'd be more ports of stuff. But at the same time, I kind of get it. There's not as much interest as like you would think there would be for on this side, of the States for that. But people care. And then for people who really, really want to go see that stuff, you just have to go out there and go check it out.
it's pretty much.
Like me and my friend Justin, we're about to plan to go to Japan towards the end of the year, and I plan for that to change my life. So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be bringing back some stuff that's gonna be great.
Nice.
Traveling with nothing, coming back with everything.
Alrighty. And then I got one for you now. Since you hit me with both a fighting game and an open world game for like a what if / dream game. Mm-hmm. What would you like to see take on a RPG, whether it be, traditional turn-based or even like a more modern like action RPG? What would you like to see really get that chance to be its own RPG? Like, like this world can, even if it's like it doesn't even have to be canon to the series or even recapping. It gets to be its own one what if own spin-off adventure. But if they delve into this genre, they can do well.
Damn, that's really hard because there's kind of like a lot I want to see as an RPG. But if I had to really say, and I know it's kind of reaching, no, I guess not really reaching, but we already kind of got one. It was a fairy tale RPG, but I don't want so fairy tales RPG was more of like a grid based one, kind of like how the old school Yu Yu Hakusho game was, or like Disgaea is. It's kind of like that in a sense. Granted, it's super simplistic. Don't get me wrong. There's only like 9 squares that you can choose from. That's how simple it is. But I just would want to see. I want to see a really fleshed out like game like that. Like give me a Tale style RPG with it. I'll even take turn based if I need to.
Actually, I'd actually like to see that. I want to see a fairy tale do Tales based. I think Tales would go well with fairy tale.
Right.
And that's pun not intended there, but no, really like having Natsu doing his special moves the way they do it like up circle, down circle. I don't know the controls on the PlayStation, but
they're more simplistic than you think. But I get what you mean.
Yeah. Those they could pull that off.
They definitely could. Now, the combat wouldn't be too hard. The part that I think would worry me would just be the execution of like the story. Granted, there's lots of soundtrack to choose from Fairy Tail. It has a lot of iconic music, lots of characters to choose from too, lots of dialogue. So that's going to be a real meaty game. And the look, as far as looks go, I want that game looking as good, if not better, than Tales of Arise in Arc System Works. That'd be the dream right there. That would be like the final like boom, this is a banger.
Would you want it to be as like on par with like either Kakarot or One Piece Odyssey?
I want it looking better than that.
So you want Fairy to be more realistic, or do you want it to keep its anime art style?
No, keep the anime art style, but I want it to be like really polished and sharp. Like how Arc System Works is like really sharp, but it's sometimes when you're looking at it, it looks a little like not awkward, but you can just see like if you like watch it frame by frame, and I know it's kind of a nitpick, but it's like you see these little awkward animation moments. Kind of like that. Kind of a little bit better than that. I want something like really smooth, that like something that feels next gen,
How so would you say something in the style of like, okay, so graphically next gen, but like more in the style of like I'm trying to think like,
I wasn't trying to think of anything specific. I was just saying in the sense of like I just wanted to like I want the graphics to really wow me. So like for example, if I see like Gray doing something like really cool or Natsu doing,
you want the ice to actually like feel like it's cold.
Like I want to be like, damn, that was dope. Like
okay,
I just want that impact of just like good graphics.
You want that fucking flair. That's where I should be going with.
I just need the story and the flair. Like I want it as good as the anime. Like I feel like because I just feel like anime games in general. I feel like they're looking really good right now. Tales of Rise looks great, but I can still just kind of see that CG aspect in it. Arc System Works is probably the closest that we'll ever get to like a smooth animated game.
You want, so I know what you're talking about now. I get it. You want that smooth transition from like, that looks like a 2D hand drawing, and zoom in is like, oh no, that's a CG model. What the fuck?
Right. Like I want to be able to just be like, I just want to be able to pause the game, take a dope ass screenshot of it, and just be like, that was real time in game right there. Granted, like that's like still years away, and development's always progressing, but that's just where I want it dream wise. Now, if I just want to like be more realistic, yeah, give me Arc System Work graphics, and give me a mix of Arc System Works graphics and Tales of Arise. Of those two, give me like a mid-engine mix of those, or like a nice compromise in between those, and yeah, you got your fairy tale game right there.
Would you want it? I missed out on a thing. Would you want it to cover its own arc, like its own what if thing to test the waters, and then the next game would be adapting the series from start to finish?
I feel like if it's as fleshed out as I would hope it would be, give it its own arc. But if it can't be, then I would take from start to finish, because that those are some really good arcs, especially the journey you go through.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be really good. Yeah, and then the open world there's plenty of places to go in that world. So yeah, and then the ultimate dream have the Rave Master and Fairy Tail crossover.
Oh, there you go.
I would just
because from Eden, Zero, Rave Master, and Fairy Tail all take place in the same universe, right? Not exactly same world, but universe.
Technically, yeah. I know Rave Master and Fairy Tail for sure because they've had crossovers before. Manga wise at least, and they had one OVA that was had them together, so I technically count that as canon.
Okay.
Eden Zero is a little harder just because it's so far in the future, but when you're watching like Hiro Mashima stuff or his work in general, he always brings in characters as like little Easter eggs and stuff like that. So, but he never shows them; they're like just walking around like randomly in a crowd or something like that.
So I would at least say like a 75% sure it's like this is the same universe. Okay.
And if you want to bring them all in together, all the same universe, oh heck yeah! Especially with how great all those stories are, it's fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm gonna need everybody too. Also, all the people who died, all the people who freaking didn't survive or didn't get enough screen time. I need them all in there.
This will be like your anniversary game for Fairy Tail.
Yeah, this would like be the end all be all. That'd be great.
I see a lot of untapped potential. Yeah, I'd be down for that.
I would eat that game up, dude. Like I would literally play nothing else for a while. I don't need anything else at that point. It's just give you the game. I don't know who would make it though. I just don't know who.
You don't that'd be tough. Well, to be fair, so I know Arc System has been using the Unreal Engine for Guilty Gear, so I could see them providing the models and character designs. And if you think your Tales of Arise was that on Unreal, do you recall?
You know what? I don't even know what they're using now. I think they are though. I want to say they are.
If they're both on Unreal, then I think you could your dream team of Arc Sys cross. I don't know what the Tales team is called, honestly.
They're just Tales of Team.
Okay.
Just call them that.
All right. Well, take that. Just take your Tales of team, have them just use the Unreal Engine, and I think you got a solid game there.
Yeah, Unreal Engine 5 would be great. Yeah, but anime graphics wise, though, I would just love to see it. I'm ready to see another bump. Like Arc System Works looks great and all, but I'm just like, is this the limit, or is this like, can we go beyond that? Technically, I'm just curious.
I'd say give it a second because the fact that Strive is a cross-gen game of being both a PS4, PS5, and PC game, I think once we hit the next stage of whatever Guilty Gear or whatever the next project is,
that like 5 or 6 for them?
like numbered.
Yeah, I feel like I thought Exerd was 3.
Oh, don't even.
I know there's like 5 different Exerd games.
Oh no, that you do not want to go into that well, man. Guilty Gear 1 to its first sequel had like 6 iterations, and each one added a bit of story. So don't even go to that well.
God. I just do it by every subtitle. So like,
oof, that was a scary question. I wasn't ready for that.
I bet not, man. Because shit, Guilty Gear has more titles than I've ever seen in a game in my life. Aside, even more than Tales. Tales probably sits at like 23, maybe 27 at most. Like if you're counting all the mobile stuff.
Guilty Gear is the only fighting game I know that can rival Street Fighter in terms of numbered, where it's the same numbered series but has a different subtitle to it.
Yeah, I realized that when I saw Exerd and then Exerd Revelator and then Exerd Revelator 2, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on with this game?
Dude, you've heard of Guilty Gear Accent Core XX Plus? Yeah, I don't.
I'm just like, every Roman numeral you could think of is on that game, and I'm just like, stop, please. Because there's no reason for this many iterations. There can't be this many changes in this game.
Oh,
yeah. You gotta pay for that engine somehow, man.
Oh yeah, and it's working. But okay, a Tales meets Arc Sys game with Fairy Tail as the main source. I'd like that.
Definitely. So, is there anything else you would like to discuss upon this, man?
I would like to throw my hat in for one RPG, and I think you may or may not disagree. So I would like it. You've seen Octopath Traveler. You've seen Triangle Strategy Live Alive, that 2D HD game. I think I would really like to see Overlord take that approach. They got away with
like a full-fledged RPG.
Yeah.
Okay.
But do it in 2D HD style. Because if they're scared that no one's gonna like the 3D models of the Overlord characters, and they don't know how well they can get away with, like, granted, last year they had a Metroidvania called Overlord Escape from Nazarick where you played as Clementine, and I liked it. For a budget Metroidvania, it's fine, especially if you're a fan of the series.
Right.
But I think if they were to get a budget team or something going where they can do their own HD 2D gameplay presentation, and you just went from season 1 to 4, I think they could get away with that. I think they would have a lot of really cool moments.
Yeah. The question is, who would you play as though? Are you playing as Ainz?
So when they did Clementine, it kind of made sense because Ainz is OP as fuck.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe, hear me out, have it be its own continuity instead of the season 1 through 4. But you play as Ainz who has his powers drained. Like maybe he ran into finally discovered, because the whole point of the series, spoilers, he's trying to find other players who are stuck in the world with him.
Right.
What if he found one that was made for this game, sucked away all his powers, and the goal is to recruit all the members of Nazarick to finally get his powers back and reclaim the throne?
That'd be legit. Takes over all his guardians, and he's just
they're
all boss fights.
Yeah, there you go. You have to get your boy Cocytus, Sebis, Albedo, all of them as bosses. You recruit each one afterwards.
Oh heck yeah, that'd be legit. That's actually pretty good. And then have it like kind of have like the tower, or is like his domain, like the tower in Tartarus, but like for Persona 3, but like not so like not 100 floors, but like maybe like 10 at most. Or something like
just.
That.
At least enough for each important member. Like maybe you can have all the battle maids be like 2 or 3 battle maids per floor, and then you recruit one.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'd want to rotate party members because, I'm pretty sure the show says itself, like, the battle maids are strong, but they're not as strong as like Shaltir or as Cocytus or Demiurge.
Yeah. Sub bosses basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
would be bad.
A
Turn based or action though?
Since this is an anime game and I don't know, and the last one was a Metroidvania on the budget, I think it would be safe to say this would be a budget turn-based game.
That's fair.
But give it modern quality of life improvements. Like Octopath Traveler has a speed up ×4 where the battles will go slow, or you can speed it up ×4 so the animations go like that. And yeah, just have Ainz maybe have the ability to swap classes where you could play as Momonga, his warrior form, or go back to his wizard form.
That's fair. I can see that being balanced, but not too OP either. Yeah.
That way you at least have 2 characters, quote unquote, to start with. But then as you unlock the rest of the parties, you could choose which form of Ainz to strengthen. You could stick with the warrior class or his sorcerer class.
Right. I would love for like the halfway point of that game to be like him defeating that other player, getting his kingdom back, and then the second half of the game is literally him dominating like the rest of the world. Kind of like, I would love a world simulation like how Ni no Kuni 2 has. Like you can build up your kingdom and stuff like that and get in wars.
That'd be sick.
That'd be legit. And then maybe throw in a multiplayer mechanic, but we'll see if that would be a thing. But that would be legit though.
I could see them adding like cute little mini games too, just for like fun to like diverse things. If you're saying like the world building things like in Ni no Kuni, maybe add some like mini games where you have to play as like the goblins in that one village to like gather resources so Ainz can have like potions at the ready and whatnot.
That would be dope. Yes, sir, Bob. Yeah, that would be actually really good. I would kill to see that. I know a friend who's Callie. He's a real big Overlord fan. I think he'd be behind that game too because he plays a lot. He plays a decent amount of the Fate games, which I was shocked by when he told me that. I was super surprised. And but I would love he would love an Overlord game. That would be legit.
And it's shocked me because we got the Kobayashi Dragon Maid game last year and Overlord. I'm like, and I think Konosuba even got its own like weird visual novel game. I think these anime games outside of Dragon, all out of the main streams, have potential to do their own thing. Because like you played Valkyria Chronicles, right? Imagine Tanya of the Evil. Imagine she gets a Valkyria Chronicles style game.
Oh my goodness, that'd be beast. That'd be a really good like. I'm trying to think. Maybe like an Afterburner Climax kind of like game.
Oh, there you go. See?
That would kill it.
Just something small. It doesn't have to. You don't have to wow people. These aren't you. You know these companies. You don't making these games to compete with the big boys. Just do it for the fans. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
It's dumb as hell, but hey, yeah, I forget. You ever played Final Fight or Streets of Rage, like those 2D? Scott Pilgrim, even.
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim was good. Yeah.
You know, have something like that. Do it for Konosuba. Have it where you have a 4-player Konosuba beat 'em up, where everybody goes around beating like goblins and slimes and shit.
I mean, so Isekai Quartet as but a Castle Crashers version.
Yes, there we go. Castle Crashers.
That would literally be legit. I could totally see that being a thing. Everyone just has their own special abilities. Every person's a class. Oh yeah, that'd be OP. That'd be really great. How's that not a game? I'm pretty sure it's somewhere. It has to be a mobile game or something. Some kind of gotcha, something.
You cannot not do that now. Now that I really want that more. I want a Castle Crashers game, but with the Isekai Quartet cast.
Yeah, that'd be great. And that chibi style too, man.
It fits.
It's not even graphically demanding either.
No.
Oh, you know what? Castle Crasher style, but you give it like that. The graphics should be so simple that you should be able to get that South Park like Stick of Truth like 1-to-1.
That's
art
right.
Style.
That would be cute too, like an Isekai Quartet, but like a South Park Stick of Truth clone. That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
And now the clone itself was a clone of Mario Paper Mario. Again, another solid RPG. So these can work. They need to experiment outside the box. Like
that would be great. I was super crowdfund that kind of game. And then Isekai Quartet games could be like a couple different things. It could be a kart racer. That'd be awesome.
That'd be cute.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that game would do something really good at like it'd be a really good party game. Something you can really spite your friends in. Like especially people who are like real competitive about like their favorite animes.
I would love that. Yeah.
That'd be dope. I could totally see that.
Shit, man. I don't know if you ever played WarioWare micro games or micro collection. It could do that too. There's just a lot of potential with Isekai Quartet. It doesn't have to be a serious like AAA game. You just do something small and fun.
Small and fun. Arcade always wins.
Shit.
Yes, sir.
I really want that shit.
Right. It sounds good. Like now you want to go put a crowdfunding post on it. I would develop it if I could, if I knew about game development like that.
Hell, we've seen like with not level 5, Omega Force does with Warrior spin-offs. You got the One Piece, you got Gundam, you got all that shit. Do that with some of these other animes. Why not?
That would be true. That'd be a perfect chance for Koei Tecmo to actually branch out and do some more.
Yeah, like just some recent animes off the top. Skeleton Knight from Another World. You could do that as a Muso clone. Fuck it, why not? Have Jesus Christ.
Tails Muso would be amazing.
Oh, see?
That would be awesome.
Just have fun. I miss the days where companies would just have experiment and do like these smaller games that, yeah, it's probably niche as fuck and only like 20 people are going to buy it, but that 20 people are going to have a lot of fun with that shit.
All right, those are memories you're making right there. Yeah, games have pretty much infinite potential when it comes to certain ideas, and it's great to see that our medium's growing more and more. Hopefully, we get that Batman Beyond game. I would love an Isekai Quartet game, and some Static Shock would be amazing. I feel like if we don't see those games in the next 10 years, you just have to send a letter to WB or anybody at this point has to do it.
We got to start getting a bunch of petitions and just get something on. Even if they don't fucking work, at least so we get at least know that we're not alone in these crazy ideas.
Mm-hmm. I would love it. And with that, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up unless Cruz has something else he wants to say.
Nah, I'm good. This was fun.
Perfect. Yes, this was a great episode. Well, appreciate you guys listening in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what games you would like to see, get made and potentially have your dream games get created. That'd be awesome to see. And don't forget to have a good one. Make sure you guys are gaming.
Peace.